Alright, hear me out. Today is Monday, February the 5th, 2024. This is So Says Mr. Thunder. I am Mr. Thunder. And if this is your first time coming to the podcast, I appreciate you for coming. Somehow you landed here. Either way, you heard about it. For those of you who are continuing with me on this mission in 2024, man, I really, truly appreciate you. Because if it weren't for you, the new people wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be able to talk about some of the things that I do by seeking counsel. So thank you for that. Today, you know, was probably one of the first days that I was actually able to kind of just sit down and process a lot of things that have been going on. Podcasts, you know what I'm saying? Work, all that good stuff that come with it, But in the last couple of weeks, I've been getting a lot of conversations where I seek counsel. And I'm getting a lot of wisdom and a lot of good report, a lot of good feedback in the form of revelations. So today I want to share one of my revelations. I think excuse me. I think that the best conversations come behind revelations. What do I mean by that? I believe, or I do know, that revelations are most times being presented when you've discovered or learned something, and you share a revelation with somebody who has something to do with it, whether it's something that they offered you or you can offer them. So I thought about it like revelation. So in order to have a revelation, you got to kind of be selfish. Why do I say selfish? It seems like a lot of the revelations that I hear or some that I experience are usually behind obtaining some type of knowledge. Then you go apply it in some form or fashion, and then all of a sudden you get a positive results, and you feel good about it. So you have this revelation, and usually you share that revelation with somebody that you had conversations with, to where they was kind of trying to plant seeds and things like that. And you just, have a good conversation, right? Good rapport. So I've been having a lot of those conversations, either, being the recipient or the person delivering the revelation. Either way, all the conversations have yielded positive results. So I feel good about that. But in order to get there, I kind of had to be selfish, which means I had to shut out all the noise and everything. And then in that space where I talk about where you live 3 different lives, just in that personal space, being able to refocus on yourself, it allows you to dial everything back in. So got to be selfish, at least for me, and most people that I talk to, that's kind of how it goes once they had a revelation. But anyways, something I thought about after I was talking to my friend, my sister, Annette Jackson, Benajay Enterprises, who is getting ready to start a production company called The Art, which I can't wait to see happen. But anyways, we was having a conversation, and we were kind of sharing some revelations, and we kept landing on this selfish word. And I thought about it as I was delivering it. I had to explain what that meant. And there's a saying that, you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I mean, to me, that if that ain't the definition of fishing, I don't know what is. But in order to be a good fisherman, sometimes you gotta do it yourself, right? And you gotta kind of take care of the things that allow you to understand that you may be the person that's given the fish one time, and then you may be the person that's teaching one time. And in doing so, on either end of the spectrum, you either the person that delivers it or the person that receives it. And because you received it or delivered it, you know how to proceed. But there's different points in our lives where I think we gotta sit down and think about, are we being a fisherman or are we being a teacher? Right? And being a teacher sometimes requires you to isolate a situation and pour into it, right? But we're talking about self. So now we have to figure out how to do that and also give ourselves that fish. How do we do that? And I think the only way we do that is by having these revelations, right? And for me, one of my revelations is that I know that I'm doing the right thing with this podcast because I keep getting conversations that yield positive revelations based upon the interaction or the relationships that we've had, that where we understood that after deciding to have a conversation, it was for the purpose of, yielding positive results, right? Going forward and going up. That's what the conversations are meant to be. And after doing that for a while, you begin to practice what you preach, right? So my revelation is that I know that I'm doing the right thing with this podcast because eventually I'm going to have enough of a product that's going to be so substance based that when I finally do decide to make a change or do what's asked of me at the time that it's asked of me, I'll be prepared to do so. But not before then. So sometimes, in order to kind of pull myself back from wanting to, I guess, how do you say, like, I don't know, take a leap of faith sometimes. Sometimes you gotta understand that being selfish requires you to pull back from that. Because sometimes taking a leap of faith may not be the best thing, depending on the situation. All I know is this right here is what is what does it for me. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to be in a situation where sometimes I'm the person that's giving the fish to the man. And then sometimes I'm the person that may be teaching the man how to fish. And knowing the only reason I know how to do those two things is because somebody gave me the fish and somebody taught me how to fish. Selfish. Revelations. Are you able to sometimes be for self, knowing that for self means you'll be able to provide the fish as well as teach how to fish, and therefore still being on top of everything because you're understanding that you're learning by living, by seeking forward and up, and having conversations that yield nothing but positive results, all because you decided to be selfish. I don't know how you can go wrong with that sometimes. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, has there been a time where you had to be selfish, right? You know, where you was like, you know what? If I don't do this for me, I'm not going to be good to anybody. And I think that, you know, we all had that point in our lives where we had that revelation where we said it's okay to be selfish. Knowing that the outcome is going to be so positive that it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Either way, if you got something to say about this podcast or you like to be a part of it, I would love to hear some feedback from you. You know, in a selfish way, I would love to hear some feedback from you, but for real, I would love to hear about your revelations. And if you're willing to share that in 10 minutes of your best, let me know. And I would love to hear from you. With that being said, this is So Says Mr. Thunder. I am Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I sure do appreciate you spending a little time with me in my moments of transparency, but I believe that if you can present something, then you can expect something at the same time. So I'm being transparent, and I love doing it sometimes. You know, I love being a person that's teaching or receiving or giving or getting. Either way, it's all good. And if you ever want to, I guess, jump on here, we can do it over the phone. We can do it in person. I'm still working on studio space and things like that. But either way, if you want to be a part of it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. So Says Mr. Thunder. Instagram. That's cool. Go there, and then like I said, you can comment on some of the videos on YouTube. I know I'm on YouTube, but most of the podcast platforms. This one specifically is Spreaker, but I know it's Google, Apple, Spotify, and a couple other ones. Man, I just got to get better at these names. My marketing ain't that great, so that's one of the things I'm gonna work on too this year. But either way, I appreciate you for being here and spending a little time with me, and I'd love to hear what you gotta say. For those of you who have shared on this podcast, don't hesitate to do it again. Do it again, because I hear what you're saying, and I see what you're doing, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate y'all for listening. Again, this is So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you do about it. Until next time, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.